This is a bus spotting video in Derby, which is the city of Derbyshire. Derby is the capital of Derbyshire, the city of Derby. 3725 Arriva Midlands on Surface 24. So we'll be seeing services from Arriva Midlands and Trent Barton and possibly Kinch Bus. Kinch Bus are part of the Trent Barton group, but they're another operator based in Loughborough in Leicestershire. Anyway, we will see what we shall see now. Arriva 4222 White Genomai 2 double-decker bus on Surface 1C. Behind that is also Arriva 3722 on the X38 Surface, terminating here. It should say Burton upon Trent on the destination blind on that white Pulsar 2. And there's the 25 wedge plate coach, which has just arrived from doing the holiday. Brand new Mercedes coach that is. Registration BV25 at the start. Let's see what else will be captured in a few minutes. Trent Barton, 309 fleet number of that bus. On the Flyer route. Enviro 200 MMC. Ilkeston Flyer, that's called. Trent Barton. 3009, the fleet number. That's a very nice looking bus. On the Flyer. Very excellent. And the Arriva Derby Scania 3505. Scania Omnicity or Omni-Link, one of them names. Arriva 3739 on Surface 2A, White Pulsar 2. All these buses are former Arriva Northwest, either based from Manchester or from Liverpool, Merseyside. And Kinch Bus 332, part of Trent Barton Group. That's the YX25 bus, brand new 25 wedge plate bus on Skylink. Very lovely brand new fleet of buses these ones are with Skylink. Very lovely new buses. Here comes the Mickleover on the Surface to Mickleover itself. Fleet number is 314 Trent Barton. Loads of these buses are Enviro 200 MMC vehicles. That's about half the fleet they got here in Derby with Trent Barton, which is absolutely fantastic. This is a different type of bus, however. Arriva pulling in 3713 Surface 24 White Pulsar 2. This one here is on the 6s, Surface 6.4 to Belper. Opta Versa, fleet number 838. Lovely. .306, that one there. So next up we've got Arriva 4406 on surface 38. M50400 double decker. Behind that is another Gemini 2 4215 and Red Arrow coach Trent Barton 907. Surface I42 Nottingham 136, the fleet number of that. 200 MMC bus. Skylink going to Leicester. That will go for your East Midlands Airport. That's 344, the fleet number of that bus. Brand new 25 wedge plate bus. 906 on the Red Arrow. All with Trent Barton. So this is another brand new 25 wedge plate. These are non-stop coaches to Nottingham, ran by Red Arrow. 907 is the fleet number of that one. 3736 is a Weaver. Another former Northwest based vehicle. They've got loads of these Pulsars here in Derby, which come from Weaver Northwest. That one is 3715, the fleet number on surface 22. At the moment, we do see plenty of Weaver knocking around here in Derby, which is quite common, including the white street light as well. Okie dokie, we've got the Scania pulling out behind, but it looks like it's a white Pulsar 2 at first. I think that's the bus that is going to be pulling out first. Any second now, a white Pulsar 2. They're quite common here in Derby now. But isn't a white Pulsar 2 still a Volvo bus? Even though it hasn't got a Volvo bus engine sound, but it's got a Volvo body. But it is a white Pulsar 2. 3716 on surface 2. And behind that on the 20 going to Spunden, 3505, a lovely Scania single decker. Listen to the engine on that thing, that is lovely. It looks like it's going to be any bus first, but it's this one coming inbound first. 3714, surface 22, a Weaver. Trent Barton, the Mickleover 318 is the fleet number of that. And behind that is 4215, leaving now on surface 1B, a Weaver. Trent Barton 309 to Ilkeston. And surface 32 to Derby is 747. Is that Trent Barton, ran by the 32 route. White Eclipse 2 Volvo Urban bus. So that is a Volvo bus, that one there. But they are very identical to white Pulsar 2s, but they've got different engine sounds. Basically that's what both buses are here in Derby. Both types of buses anyway. Surface 1A going to Alphaston, is it? Cannot say the place names properly. 4219, that's another Gemini 2 decker. The Weaver Midlands. 901 Red Arrow, another brand new coach. And now leaving is 907. That is just great. And I know something about that decker there, about that M50400, because that has transferred from somewhere else. I believe there's the YJ58 number plate bus, which means it's transferred from somewhere else previously. 308, the Alpha Flyer bus just arriving. And this one is 332 on the Skylink. Another brand new 200 mmc bus. I think that one's going to Loughborough, not to Leicester this time. This is the Indigo. Where does this go to? Nottingham. 204. Skylink 337. Look at that. Another brand new bus arrives. 200 mmc Decker, and that is YX250FJ. Yes, so it's my favourite number plate on the bus because it ends in the letter J, of course. Letter J represents my first two initials of my name, which means Jamie John. 836 Opta Versa on the 6 this route, on one of them anyway. Well, letter J isn't messing around, it's just arrived and now it wants to leave straight away. So these belong to King's Bus, but they're part of Trent Barton. I see. 337. No fleet numbers at the front of these buses, but only on the sides and the back. At least you can still see the fleet numbers anyway. 3719, that is on the X38 to Burton, and the Villager, Trent Barton, 302. No street lights in action, there's only one just sat there at the bus station bay being parked up. And the fleet number I know about this is 2345. That one just being sat there. What's happening with Skylink now is just circulating around the bus station. That is good to see. Just circulating around in the circular here at the minute. Service 24 going to Oakwood. It is 3713. White Pulsar 2 ran by Weaver Midlands. And behind that is Surface 6.1 going to Bakewell. 846 Opta Versa and an M5 400 Decker 4403. That is a very good looking bus with the special 50 years of service badge at the back applied as well. Good advertising that is from a Weaver, very good. Where's this going to? Loughborough. Skylink 332. Very lovely brand new buses in the fleet they are today. Surface 2A, fleet number 3706, away from Midlands, White Pulsar 2. The Mickleover branding, going to Mickleover via Royal Derby Hospital. This one is 319, the fleet number of that 200 mmc vehicle bus. That is very grand. And here it is, what we've all been waiting for, finally. It It won't pull out straight away because there's another bus that needs to pull out with Trent Barton in mango livery as well. An Opta Versa 846 on surface 3 going to Burton upon Trent. Surface 38 to Simfin is ran by 4420 YJ58 bus. That is former Aviva Yorkshire, and the old fleet number used to be 1900 and something as well. There's the Flyer bus. And Red Arrow 901, Transpeak 527, then 50200 on Transpeak to Buxton. And 135 is surface I4 to Nottingham. There's loads of buses pulling out at once. M50200 MMC, Trent Barton. The 6s, surface 6X, going to Belper, fleet number 843, same type of bus. An Opta Versa ran by Trent Barton. And behind that is going to Ashbourne on surface Swift 736. That looks lovely in Swift livery, looks really, really nice, that does. Going to Ashbourne. Is there a place called Ashbourne also in Australia? I know that there's also a place called Melbourne in Australia, but is there an Ashbourne in Australia also? There might possibly could be. Surface 26 going to Oakwood 3736 with the white destination LED blind at the front of that white Pulsar 2. Former Aviva Northwest. Surface 26 to City Centre 3718. These buses are quite often. Surface 22 going to Oakwood. Another white Pulsar 2 3714. These run very often in Derby. See what else will arrive in a minute. There is the other 1C service going to Alphaston. Or is it Stun? Alphaston. 4223 White Gemini 2. Skylink, where's this going to? Via East Midlands Airport, via Loughborough, and it's going to Leicester. 337, happy days. That's off to Leicester. Surface 32 going to Ilkeston. So is that run by Trent Barton? 747's the fleet number of that bus in mango livery. White Eclipse Urban 2 bus, Volvo. That's an M50200 MMC 313 on the Ilkeston Flyer. They run very often as well. This one is on surface 6.1 going to Bakewell. 845 Opta Versa, and to Mickleover is 317 200 MMC bus. Another one there going to Nottingham on Indigo is 203 Trent Barton all around. .900 that coach is, the fleet number is 900 on Red Arrow from Nottingham. Aviva Midlands, based here at Derby, 4403 on the 38 going to Simfin. Very noisy M50400 Decker also. we still see Arriva everywhere. Ilkeston Fast, Ilkeston Flyer. 310, the fleet number of that M5200 MMC buses. Trent Barton. Red Arrow, going to Nottingham. 905. Lovely brand new coaches also. They sound really nice too. Arriva Midlands 3725 and a yellow taxi cab. That's what the cabs look like in Derby. Yellow, colour yellow. There's the yellow bus as well on the 6s. Now buses cannot get around because this stupid taxi is getting in the way of buses. 837 on the 6s, Opta Versa, Trent Barton. This idiotic car driver doesn't know what they're doing or haven't got a clue. 3569, Scania single decker. Come on taxi driver, get out of the way. There's a heavy tongue bus. Heavy weighing tongue, TOM bus. Beeping his horn at you to tell you to move out of the way. What an absolute dipstick and such an idiot of a taxi driver. That's the incident right there that's just happened 2 minutes ago. Right there. Absolute idiot, that taxi driver. And that one is 3721 in the distance on the Weaver Route 26. Yeah, the taxi driver was right there. Basically between that Trent Barton Comet bus and the National Express coach, basically. The car was parked right there. Such an idiot and an imbecile. Absolute imbecile. That car driver were. Well, it wasn't a car driver, it's a fucking taxi driver. That's who it were. A typical fucking taxi driver. Anyway, let's get back to the buses. 3569 on surface 2A. Lovely Scania bus, that is. Nice to see these in Derby still. There ain't a lot of these buses left though. The Scanias, they're slowly leaving or departing the fleet. This one is 44005 M5400 Decker. Just under 38 came from Simfin. Just terminating there at the bus station for now. And there we are. Former Arriva Merseyside. It is 3738. That is the CX58 bus on the 24th Oakwood. Another white Pulsar 2. And the other CX58 right behind it is 3740. That is on the X38 to Burton upon Trent. So two of them at once, CX58 buses on the number plate. There's two very rare buses to find at once as well. 3727 is on surface 2. Cannot say the place name unfortunately. Another white Pulsar 2. From Arriva Northwest. So that was very nice to see just then. Both CX58 number plate buses at once. One of them being on the X38 pretty much all day long. But what we didn't want to see 3 minutes ago is that idiotic such taxi driver. What the heck was all that about with that taxi driver? And it's one of these buses that kept honking the horn at the taxi driver. One of these M50400s as well. 4403. It's definitely one of these buses. That's on the 38 going to Simfin. Excellent stuff from Arriva. This bus, I think, is Notson Derby, or is it Trent Barton? It could well be Trent Barton. 491's the fleet number of that bus, and we see an Opta Solo. I spy a Solo. Yeah, I think that one it belongs to Trent Barton actually. The really good bus company, that's Trent Barton. The other solo is with Notts and Derby, but this one is Trent Barton. 491 right there. So that one right there is with Trent Barton. If you look at that one on the further left, without any branding at the back of that solo, that's with Notts and Derby. So at least we see a couple of solos as well. This bus is 837, the fleet number of that one. That will be doing a service on the 6s, unless it's returning to the bus depot. It says not in service on there. The Mickleover Ilkeston Flyer once again. This one is fleet number 307. They're quite often, these Flyer buses are, for the M50200s. M50200 MMC buses, that's what I meant to say. All about the Mickleover. Well, there's two versions of these buses, of the Mickleover. First of all, this one here is a 66 wedge plate bus and doesn't have tinted windows, and also doesn't have many windows for the top bits of the windows to open. And the fleet numbers are slightly different on these ones as well, and the branding looks a little bit different also. And this one is a YX66, which is slightly older for the M50200 MMC with Trent Barton, and that one is 106 going to Mickleover. Scania 3569 a Weaver, Trent Barton solo, just seen that a minute ago. 4218 a Weaver Derby on surface 1B, Genomai 2 decker, white Genomai 2 that is, and M50200 MMC going to Ilkeston on the Flyer, fleet number 313. So the next Mickleover bus that departs, which is this one here, you can see half of the bus has got tinted windows, and it's got more window openings at the top of the bus. The branding looks slightly a little bit different, and also the fleet numbers are a little bit different as well. I'll explain a little bit more about that as the next Mickleover bus will leave from this bus station in around the next 5 to 10 minutes time ahead on this bus spotting clip. This is going to Loughborough 334 Skylink Kinch bus on behalf of Trent Barton, and 900 Trent Barton Red Arrow non-stop to Nottingham in about 35 minutes. Very lovely coach. What's happened to this white Pulsar 2 here with a Weaver? Surface I4, that is fleet number 138 going to Nottingham. 21 to Spunden. I think this bus is struggling a little bit. 3718. Oh dear. No, the bus won't move. Oh dear. I think it's got a technical fault with this Pulsar 2. It's on the 21 to Spunden or Spunden. That's not going anywhere. It's moving now. That bus has just had a technical fault then for around 1 minute. At least it didn't break down, which was good. Just had a technical fault. Right, Genomai 2 double decker, Weaver Derby on surface 1A. Fleet number 4204. I'm not saying the place name this time. It's quite a little bit difficult to pronounce. Just see the Comet in action in a minute. Surface 24 for Oakwood, 3715. And I can see an England flag on the lamppost in the background also, representing the women's football team for the Lionesses, winning the final football game for the England women's football team. Very much happy days to do with England. Is that the St George's flag? It is. 3725, white Pulsar 2 on surface 22 to Oakwood. And here is the Comet, Trent Barton. This should be 748, the fleet number of that bus. That will be going via Alfreton, via Claycross, going to Chesterfield. The Comet, Trent Barton, look at that. That looks absolutely stunning. One of the best liveries for Trent Barton, I think. I'll tell you which livery I do like. Express 38 is it? But often known as the Surface X38 from Derby to Burton. But Trent Barton done their own version of the branding, which I think looks smart on the white Eclipse Urban 2 Volvos also. The Comet even looks good as well, I must say. The Villager, Trent Barton, Enviro 200 MMC, fleet number 3003. That's the 24 wedge plate bus. So these are slightly brand new as well, but brand new in 2024. So we'll explain a little bit more about the Mickleover compared to the bus types. Compare from the 2016 make to the 2024 make. I think so anyway. I'll update you with more details in a few seconds. Arriva 3739, white Pulsar 2, and Trent Barton 904, Red Arrow coach. That's very old Arriva livery. Hang on, that's another CX58. That's the third one seen today. That's very old. 2924. That's got an old fleet number on there. Eh? And that's not on the bus fleet list, I'm not tracking. 2924 in Derby. I think that fleet number should be 3,700 and something. If you know something about that bus with Arriva Derby, but it's not got the correct fleet numbers on that bus, it just had 2924 on there, 2,924 basically. Just let me know in the comments below. That is definitely a transfer from Arriva Northwest, because that is the CX58 number plate bus. Either transfer from Merseyside or somewhere else from Arriva Northwest. Most definitely 110% sure for that one, definitely. I wasn't expecting that at all. So that's the third CX58 bus only here with Arriva Midlands in Derby. Fantastic bus news that one is. Yeah, so this one about the Mickleover, fleet number is 315. So it's a different fleet number. It's a 24 wedge plate bus. Fleet number 903. Yeah, and that's what's different about Mickleover. And they've got tinted windows on their buses as well, on the 24 wedge plate buses. Swift going to New Oxeter. Sorry about that bus, I didn't take any notice of the fleet numbers of that, because I'm too busy talking about the Mickleover. Yeah, basically, what's different about the 24 wedge plate buses with the Mickleover is they've got all tinted windows, more windows open at the top of the bus. The fleet numbers are in the 300 and something series instead of the 100 and something series. And yeah, and they've got slightly different branding on them buses too. Ilkeston's Flyer 307 and another Flyer bus coming inbound is 312. Wow. And going to Nottingham is 210 on Indigo. Indigo to Nottingham. Absolutely epic. (904) Red Arrow coach, brand new 25 wedge plate. They do non-stop services to Nottingham all day. From Derby on the destination, it'll change to Nottingham. The nice brand new coaches. 3739, White Pulsar 2, Arriva Derby. Quite good buses they are, in my opinion. They're alright because I've been on one of them today. 3721 on surface 26 going to Oakwood. Correct fleet number. Skylink to Leicester. It is 345. Goes via East Midlands Airport and Loughborough. Brand new M50200 MMC. And there is the X38 to Burton upon Trent. 3709. And that were the bus I've been on earlier on today. It's quite alright actually. It's quite an alright bus. White Pulsar 2, former Arriva Northwest. The 24 to Oakwood is this fleet number correct, 3715. And Mango branded Opta bus on the fee 3 to Burton is 846, ran by Trent Barton. Slowly steering around for the turn-in. Arriva Derby double-decker M50400. Surface 38 to Stenson Fields. Oh, it goes to Stenson Fields via Sim Fin. Okie doke, it extends to Stenston Fields. Well, behind that is the white Genomai 2. 4224 is the fleet number of that bus on the 1C. Yeah, that White Pulsar 2 is in the old Arriva livery. It's got the thin yellow line underneath that White Pulsar 2. We'll see what the fleet number is and the details of that bus once it leaves the bus station. Obviously it's got to be a transfer from Arriva Northwest. 3713 Arriva Derby on surface 22. Oakwood. Alright, so let's see what the details of this White Pulsar 2 is. 3736 on surface 20. And Red Arrow coach, brand new with Trent Barton from Nottingham. 909 is the fleet number of that one. This one here is 3708, so that's got the correct fleet number on there on surface 2. 3708 in the old Arriva livery. The previous bus was the CX58 in that old livery, And also it had 2,924, wasn't it? That's the old Aviva fleet number from Aviva Northwest. You can easily tell by that. But anyway, here comes the Mickleover. Very nice buses these are. 314. That's a YY24 number plate bus. So they're slightly over a year old, but they're slightly still looking brand new. And there's another brand new Mickleover, or called the Mickleover. 904 going to Nottingham, Red Arrow coach. 3714 surface, well, it says not in service on there now. Ilkeston Flyer 311, Trent Barton M5 200 MMC, White Pulsar 2 not in service. 3714 and 722 Trent Barton Express 38 branding bus. That's a good surprise. That just arrived here at Derby bus station. More like Derby Bus Interchange, wasn't it? That Express 38 White Eclipse Urban 2 bus. Very good surprise from Trent Barton. 311. Doing very well for the buses here today. Absolutely very excellent and very well. I'm well happy and pleased about this. I Spy 3505. That's the same Scania from earlier on. Still nice to see it in operation with Aviva Derby on Surface 20. Ilkeston Fast, Ilkeston Flyer 312, and behind that is on the I4 to Nottingham 137 Surface I4 going to Nottingham M5 200 MMC. At least there's been plenty of buses on this bus spotting video. On the Surface 22 route going to Oakwood is 3713 White Pulsar 2 Aviva Derby. 3738 I Spy a CX58 White Pulsar 2 bus on Surface 24 to City Centre. Fabulous. Surface 20 going to Spondon 3736 Aviva Derby. 902 Red Arrow coach non-stop from Nottingham. Brand new coach, 25 wedge plate. Another bus ran from Trent Barton on the Mickleover 316, the fleet number of that one. And here comes some white Gemini 2s from Aviva Derby 4219 on Surface 1B, and Surface 1A is 4222 Trent Barton Indigo to Nottingham 202. Red Arrow to Nottingham is 909 coach. That is a very nice bus, this one. The Ilkeston Flyer, fleet number 311 311. Starts here from Derby, it goes to Ilkeston on the Flyer route. There's been plenty of buses and things to see here at Derby this afternoon. Skylink going to Loughborough, it is fleet number 333, all the threes, 333. East Midlands Airport goes to first and then to Loughborough. Splendid. 4215 White Genuine 2-decker, Surface 1C Arriva Derby. The Villager going to Burton upon Trent 3005. Very lovely M50 200 MMC from Trent Barton. M50 400 double decker with Arriva Derby. Is about to leave and depart from Derby Bus Interchange. It is on surface 38 to Stenson Fields. Goes via Simfin 4406. Ilkeston Flyer from Trent Barton 311. And Notson Derby, part of Trent Barton, is 470. This Opta Solo on surface 59. So thank you very much for watching this bus spotting video. Please give this a thumbs up as a like, a very good like, and feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're going to end it here with Arriva Derby 3722 on surface X38 to Burton. White Pulsar 2. So that has been the best bus spotting video ever here in Derby so far for today. Done really well. So very much happy, exciting days. And more bus spotting videos will be released like this again very soon in the near future. And thank you very much for watching.